Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to ESA Corona Relief. We are ready with our next run here. Just a quick reminder that all the money that we are raising here through the donations is going to save the children's COVID-19 relief fund here. Do please keep your donations coming in. We are at $15,600 at the moment. Please do keep going. Can we push it to 16,000? Of course we can. Can we get a hype train going? Can we get ourselves a donation train going? A $5 one, a $10 one, a $20 donation train? We can indeed. We can keep pushing these donations higher and higher. And just to let you know as well, coming up later on today, we do have a Super Mario 64 run. It is going to be crowd controlled. For those of you not aware of what crowd control is where you can influence the game with a really cool Twitch extension. And to earn the coins to mess with the game here and the runner, you will need to use your donations for it. Make sure you keep an eye out for the extension becoming live and get your donations in during that. It is going to be an absolutely hype run. And speaking of hype runs, we have the legendary Nimputs here going to come and show us 100% Sonic R. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Nimputs. I'm doing Sonic R 100%. This originally came out on Sega Saturn, but I play the GameCube version. It's part of Sonic Gems collection, which looks like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into Grand Prix mode. I'm gonna select Knuckles, and I'm gonna be starting on Reactor Factory in 3, 2, 1, and go. So, Sonic R is a racing game. It's of the bit unusual kind. It has 5 different tracks, and obviously I have to win all of them. In addition to just winning, in order to get 100%, I have to collect a whole lot of different things on the tracks. So the tracks have like really messy layouts you can see on the map in the bottom right. There's a lot of different paths and secret areas and stuff. And in these areas, a lot of things are hidden. There's 5 Sonic tokens per level and 2 Chaos Emeralds. And so I have to find all of these, and a lot of times they're hidden behind ring gates. So there are gates that require a certain amount of rings to open them. And so what you basically have to do is route the levels in a way that you can collect everything and get the required amount of rings. So I'm going around the track here, just picking up everything I need. I'm using Knuckles right now because Knuckles is the most is the best of the starting characters. He has really good running speed, excellent handling, and he's just definitely the best choice. He also gets used mostly in the no out of bounds categories, but this is out of bounds, which we're gonna make use of pretty quickly. Right now we're staying in bounds for this level. But yeah, I'm coming up here on lap 3. I'm going to collect the 2 Chaos Emeralds for this track, so I have over 120 rings. That means I have enough rings to get everything. So I have to go through this gate here. This makes a Chaos Emerald shoot out of a cannon in front of me, and then it drops down here and I can collect it like that. And the next Chaos Emerald on this track is after this gate. Comes out of the submarine here, you can see it flying, and there I can pick it up. The last Sonic token is in a bit of a detour here. So the Sonic tokens, if you win a track with all the Sonic tokens collected, you get to race against a unlockable character on the same track again. And if you win that race, you unlock that character. So I don't have to collect anything anymore, so I can just beat the track as quickly as possible. Instead of like playing the track as intended, I'm gonna turn around here, slide up the wall here, go into this corner and wiggle back and forth a little bit, and hopefully get some good results. Not going so well so far, but okay, there we go. So now we're out of bounds, and I'm gonna line myself up next to the finish line here, loop back behind it, and cross it, and that counts as a lap. So like this, we can finish the whole race in around 30 seconds, even with like a bit of a slow clip out, and that's it. And now as the screen that was fading out, I paused the game and exit out, and that basically just skips the finishing animation that saved like 6-7 seconds every time. You can only do it on the challenge races. If you do it on the previous race, you just quit back to the menu and you don't get anything. So only do it on the challenge races. So now I'm switching to Metal Knuckles, and I'm going into Resort Island. So Metal Knuckles is the main reason I did Reactor Factory first, because that's the track that unlocks him. And Metal Knuckles is very useful, because Metal Knuckles is able to do the out-of-bounds clips that you also just saw me do with Knuckles. Not all characters can do those, the wiggle clips particularly. There's other methods to get out of bounds, but the wiggle clips are exclusive to specific characters, which are Knuckles, Metal Knuckles, Egg Robo, and Amy. And Metal Knuckles is definitely the best choice here. Another reason Metal Knuckles is very important is because there's a lot of water here, and Metal Knuckles can just jump over the water without losing any speed, so that's very useful. Metal Sonic can do that as well, but Metal Sonic can't do clip out, so Metal Knuckles is way better here. Most people run this game no out of bounds, and in the no out of bounds runs you change the weather in the game settings to snowy weather, and then all the water freezes. And I need some rings here. Sorry, that's a bit of a time loss, but it's fine. Alright, 50 rings for this last gate. In the no out of bounds runs, you change the weather to snowy, so all the water freezes, and you can just run over it. So you don't have to worry about jumping over the water with the metal characters, but in 100% you need the water, or particularly you need clear weather, because only that makes the wiggle clip outs work. So right here, I'm gonna do the same thing that I already did on Reactor Factory. I'm gonna turn around and wiggle into this corner right here, and hopefully get out of bounds. That was pretty quick. So, these clip outs are pretty inconsistent, so this is the reason why most people don't really like this category, because it can be like a bit annoying to grind out a good run, because you have to hope for good clip luck. But I like my runs a tad inconsistent, so it makes it exciting for me, so this is the perfect category for me, because I'm just weird like that. Anyways, so next up, gonna stick to Metal Knuckles here. Going to Radical City. Radical City is pretty easy to get like everything pretty quickly, very consistent, not a very high ring requirement to collect everything. So I'll be collecting everything within the first 2 laps here, and then use lap 3 to actually clip out of bounds and skip the last lap. So until I make it there, I can talk a little bit about how the movement works. So basically, you wanna like drift as much as possible. So anytime you drift, you get like extra like sideways momentum, and this sideways momentum gives you extra speed. So what you see me do a lot is bump into walls to slide along walls, and that's basically either to set up a drift around the corner, or to remain in a drift while being on a straight path. So for example, this is what I'm gonna do here. There's a straight wall here, and I just drift along the wall. There's also the technique called counter drifting. So basically there's 2 drift buttons in this game, one left drift and one right drift. And usually you wanna, like when you go around corners, like let's say a left corner, you hold the stick to the left and you press the left drift button. But if you get into a drift and then hold the opposite drift button to the direction that you're drifting into, you can get into a counter drift. So this is really good if you're coming, for example, out of like a sharp turn and you want to remain your drift momentum on a straight path, like without being able to drift along anything. And it also gets you a little higher speed than regular drifting. So it's very useful, but it's harder to use. So it really needs some practice. So here's our challenge race against Tailstall. It's that Tailstall, pretty spooky, but worry not. We can just go back here and clip out again. So we do not have any chance of Tailstall chasing us and getting us and eating our soul, or whatever the creepypasta says he does. Luckily, we can just do this and yeah, do this really quickly. Even if you don't do this, this is super easy. Tailstall is like one of the slowest characters, so nothing to fear about here. Another cutscene skip, and we are off to the next track, which is Regal Ruin. So for Regal Ruin, I'm going to switch to Metal Sonic. If you paid attention, I said earlier Metal Sonic can't do clip outs. at least not the wiggle clip outs, but there's a different kind of clip out I'm going to be doing in the challenge race. But for now, this level is pretty much just chill movement based. Not really much to explain here anymore. So if there are any donations, this would be a perfect time to read them.
We do. We have a $5 donation from Vunderbear Live saying, donation train. Come on, chat. Let's do it. And we also have a $5 donation from RNA saying, let's get that train going a little further. It's for a great cause. Or as they say in Sonic R, we all need to remember that nothing in this world comes for free. We have to make it what we want. Just you and me and everybody.
That's my favorite song from the game, by the way.
Well, she knew, and I butchered it, and I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
It's fantastic, no problem. Yeah, oh, I'm in a bit of trouble here, because I accidentally got speed shoes, which is, surprisingly, even though it sounds counterintuitive, not supposed to happen. So it messed me up a little bit here. But yeah, I'm just coming up to the end of this level here, collecting the last few things. So the emeralds in this level are hidden inside these pyramids, and they usually open up when you go in front of through the ring gates in front of them. And the moment you go through the ring gates, they lose all collision, so you don't have to wait for them to open, so you can just run through them. But yeah, coming up to the end of the level here. And now the challenge race in Regal Ruin. So there's a different kind of clip out that I mentioned earlier, which most characters can do this in some way or another. So what I'm going to do here is turn around and attempt to jump through this bank turn. I was a bit late on the jump there. So this is the hardest trick in the run, basically. It's also the only trick that's really consistent, but it's also pretty hard. You have to do like a short hop into the bank turn. And if you time it right, you can clip through. But that's been giving me trouble lately, so... Ah, come on. This is pretty tense if you're on PB pace and you have to get this. Yeah, I'm watching the timing here. Give me a quick second. This is not going well. There we go, finally. That took way too long. In that time I could have done the track normally, but hey, you get to see the glitch anyways. So now I'm gonna set myself up in this pillar, which is an invisible wall next to the finish line. Oh no! Robo hit me with a bomb and it bonked me out. Okay, that's the worst thing that's ever happened. Alright, I'm just gonna do the track normally at this point, I think. Cause, this is horrible. Wow. That's, literally never happened before. Yeah, this is really awkward. I'm just gonna go around the track really quick and, hope I can do it fast enough to still beat Robo. Like, ew. At this point, like, I don't want to risk it. That's literally never happened. I've done so many marathon runs of this, and this is like... This is definitely a first one. Luckily, the AI speed is set to easy, so we should be fine. Yeah, Robo is just like barely into the first lap, so into the last lap, so you can easily catch up. Yeah, I didn't want to risk like losing a lot of time on the clip out again, so I'm just doing this normally. Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. You saw me get the clip once, and then I got bonked out, so I'm not sure. This is a super weird situation that I've literally never had before. But yeah, we still won, so... and because this is such an unusual situation, I forgot to do the cutscene skip, so this is how the victory animation looks like. But yeah, I'm just glad I still won this race. Yeah, really strange occurrence, but... I guess it's bound to happen at some point. But yeah, we've now collected everything. So we will be switching to Supersonic for the final track. So the final track does have no viable skip that I can do consistently. So most likely I will have to do this track the intended way. But there is a skip I can get more or less by accident here. So if I slide into this wall, and I got it! So this clips me out of bounds, and this saves like 13-14 seconds. So this clip is extremely inconsistent, and it usually never happens when you need to get it. So yeah, that's very lucky that I got this here. So I managed to skip like half of the first lap here. This clip is incredibly rare, so I'm very happy I got to show it off. Also makes up for how the game treated me in Regal Ruin. So if you want a bit of an anecdote of how uncommon this clip is, to get it like when you actually need it, I grinded out an individual level for like a 3-lap race of this track, and I attempted to get a clip on every 3 laps, and I grinded this out over the course like of a couple weeks. And it took me a total of 96 hours to get a clip on all 3 laps, so it's very uncommon. I think like getting 1 clip is about 1 in 20 chance, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, and then you can do the math on how small the chance for getting all 3 is. So yeah, very happy I got to show off the clip. Sorry, time is coming up here as I cross the finish line. I should have given a warning sooner. And time. Yeah, sorry, this was a bit sudden, but yeah, that's the run. Was a bit messy, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Yeah.
It was a fantastic run, mate. You did a great job there, even with Regal Ruin throwing you that curveball.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's never happened before, and I lost so much time, but I'm still underestimate. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I hope it was a fun run. Sonic R is a great speed game. If you're interested, give it a shot. There's a couple tutorials about it as well. We have an own Discord server. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I did this last time, ESA Summer last year. And I was hoping to get a better run this time, which unfortunately didn't happen, but I hope it was entertaining nonetheless. And yeah, again, thank you for having me.
It was fantastic, mate. That, as you say, 3rd time's the charm, maybe? Keeps submitting it to ESA, you never know.
Maybe, yeah.
But coming up next, we have Yoku's Island Express, and that is all for me as well. I will be handing over to the one and only Robo Sparkle. We will see you all after this brief intermission.